Hey first grade, today we are going to read Chapter 3 in Junie B. Jones and the Yucky Blucky Fruitcake. Chapter 3 is called All About Carnivals. Mrs. took attendance. Attendance is when you say the word here, only I didn't feel like saying it, so I just raised my hand very flimsy. You feeling all right, Junie B? Mrs. asked. She's okay, said Lucille. She's just mad because I beat her at hopping. Yeah, only I already explained that to you, madam, I shouted at Lucille's face. Mrs. clapped her loud hands at me. Junie B. Jones, that will be enough of that, she said. Put my head on my table again. This day is a bummer, I whispered to just myself. Mrs. stood up at her desk. Boys and girls, may I have your attention, please? I would like to talk to you about a special night coming up at school on Friday. It's called Carnival Night. Does anybody know what a carnival is? I do, said that Jim. A carnival is like what they have at the state fair every year. There's lots of rides there, like the Ferris wheel and the tilt-a-whirl and the bumper cars. Yeah, and there's a shooting gallery with fake ducks, said Jamal Hall. And there's cotton candy that rots your teeth by eating big black holes in your protective tooth enamel, said a boy I love named Ricardo. Ricardo's mother is a dentist, I think. After that, a crybaby boy named William stood up very shy, and he said one time he rode the scary roller coaster, and he didn't even cry that much. Except for he accidentally threw up a chili dog. Then Polly Allen Puffer told about carnival food that he threw up too, like a candy apple and caramel corn and a rubber band. Except that is not food. That's just office supplies. I raised my hand. Carnivals are rip-offs, I said, 'cause one time my daddy kept on trying to knock over 3 bottles with a ball, but even when he hit them, they wouldn't fall down, so then he and Mother had to call the cops, and also Eyewitness News at 6 and 10. Mrs. laughed out loud. Yeah, only this is not a laughing matter, I told her. She stopped smiling. No, of course it isn't, she said, but I promise that nothing like that will happen at our school's carnival, Junie B. All the games are going to be run by the parents and teachers, and there will be hundreds of prizes to win. I sat up a little bit straighter. Hundreds, I said. Hundreds, she said. Yeah, only I don't even know how to win them, I said. So Mrs. got out a piece of paper that told all about the carnival games. Well, let's see, she said. Since there will be a fishing booth, a penny toss, a moonwalk tent, a putting green, clothespins in the bottle, a basketball shoot, a ring toss, and a booth where you can throw wet sponges at our principal's face. Just then, Room 9 started laughing very much, because throwing sponges at the principal is a dream come true. That's why. Mrs. kept on reading. And it also says that Mrs. Hall, the art teacher, will be painting faces in the art room. And in our very own Room 9, there is going to be a cakewalk. I jumped right out of my chair. Hey, guess what? Walking on cake is the funniest thing. I love. 'Cause one time at a picnic, I stepped on my grandpa's little Debbie snack cake with bare feet. And the creamy filling was so very squishy between my toes. Goonie, shouted out that Jim. You Goonie Bird Jones, you don't walk on cake. A cakewalk is a game where you win a cake. Right, teacher, right? Mrs. made squinting eyes at him. Yes, Jim, but we do not call people Goonie birds. Calling people names is rude. Plus, if you want to make a comment, I would appreciate it if you would politely raise your hand. Like me, right, Mrs.? I hollered out, 'cause I raised my hand very polite when I told you that carnivals were rip-offs. Remember that? Then a lot of other kids shouted that they were very polite, too. So I had to stand up on my chair so Mrs. could hear me. Yeah, only they can't be as polite as me. Right, Mrs.? 'Cause I said it first. Right? Then Mrs. rubbed her head for a very long time, and she also took some aspirin. And that is the end of Chapter 3. Friends, that was a short chapter, but on Thursday I will be back reading Chapter 4. It is called Very Practicing. Bye, first grade.